Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once more to the OS World Cup 2025 B stream. We are in the Contenders Group F. It is the last match of the group. It is Argentina, the 30 overall seed, against Uruguay, the 34 overall seed, with a match that, despite everything that has happened to this point, still actually matters for the outcome of this group, and we will talk about that shortly. I'm this one guy. Joining me for this match are going to be two other commentators. We have Stage and we have Nightcore joining us from the Mania scene. Good afternoon, Mr. Stage, Mr. Nightcore. Stage, how are we doing today, man? What do we got?
Yeah, I'm doing so well today, T1G, and I'm so excited to be here with the both of you on this match. Yeah, we're wrapping up the group stage. We only have a couple of more matches left today before we wrap things up. And I'm really excited to get underway here. Nightcore, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good this fine evening, thank you guys. And it's pretty much a pretty intense match looking here. And especially, I think it is pretty nice to witness a bit more of the standard casting side coming from Many and myself. So I'm very interested to see how this matchup will turn out.
And so, as mentioned, last match of the group. Group winner already decided. It is Turkey. They went 3-0 in the group. They will be the number one seed coming out of this group into round of 16 losers bracket of the main bracket stage, no matter what happens here. That being said, Argentina, Uruguay, both the teams in this particular matchup still contending for that second spot. Belgium has effectively already been eliminated, unless my math is really not mathing. I don't think there's a world where Belgium can get through at this point due to point differential and seeding. However, there is a world where Uruguay, despite starting 0-2 in this group, can still advance onward. They would need to win by a margin of 5-0, 5-1, or I believe 5-2 as well, could get them through. Any other result, Argentina goes through as the number 2 seed. So a lot still at play here, and that's kind of the beauty of these group stages.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all kind of in the air at the moment, but this match will be the decider for this group. We do see the Hidden 2 ban coming out from Uruguay. Argentina still deciding on their first ban here. And, just kind of looking at a comparison from qualifiers, we see Argentina outperforming Uruguay in a lot of areas, especially Hidden and Hard Rock, as well as DT2 and DT3. So it makes sense that Uruguay wants to get that reading map off the board. Argentina has been performing really, really well on these picks. We do see DT3 come out as the ban from the side of Argentina. And back on that qualifiers comparison, there are a few toss-ups as well. Nomad 2, actually really all of the Nomads besides Nomad 1 and Nomad 5 look like toss-ups. And yeah, so here we go. It's exciting.
Yeah, I think these bans are both totally understandable. On the side of Argentina, of course, as you guys were saying, although having a better DT2 and free score from, I do believe, the group stage, if I'm not mistaken, or was that qualifiers? I'm not 100% sure.
We'll see. Yeah, go on.
I'm just trying to look from this stat sheet. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Argentina does tend to have 2 better DT scores compared to Uruguay, who only had 1, if I do remember correctly. So maybe just not confident, I would say, on some of these DT picks this week, because, difficulty from qualifiers from the group stage is a lot different. But now Nomad 3 is going to be getting off the bat on the side of, I do believe it's Argentina.
I believe that was Uruguay's pick, I think.
Should have been Argentina. Should have been Argentina for first pick, yeah. This one up, we've seen there's been a lot of chocolate disco in this group stage. I think everybody is very ready to move on to a new map pool, so they can maybe stop having to listen to this song over and over and over. It is a good, overlap, low BPM, low AR reading check for the group stage. 4.32 stars very much belies the difficulty of the map. but it's been one that's been very, very contested, and we've seen it go every which way, right? We've seen close maps on this, and we've seen, I think, some really one-sided occasions.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a bit of a diff spike to look out for about 2/3 of the way through. So, it's not horribly uncomfortable, even if you're not super proficient with reading. It's kind of just looking out for that low AR and a bit of a higher than normal CS on this. And it's also quite a long map, right? So you don't want to find a miss right at that diff spike near that halfway point.
Yeah, absolutely. The endurance definitely has to be key in a pick like this. And just, I think Argentina want to be getting this pick out the way, just in case they might get a bit of that fatigue maybe later in the match. So maybe trying to avoid that as well.
Something very interesting I do want to note as we get into this map, Argentina actually banned this in their previous match against Turkey themselves. And here, they're opting into it as their own first pick. So very different approach to the two different matchups in this stage of the tournament. So we get underway. It's going to be Pengu of Smash K, Bowmilk, and PP Pupu against Melody, Helvetia, Clocks, and Rebo on the side of Uruguay, with a break coming right at the start from both Penguo and Bowmilk, giving that early advantage to start things off to the Uruguay side.
Absolutely. We are slowly but surely getting underway here. Early misses aren't so disastrous as long as you can find that recovery combo. We have seen this so much this weekend and in OS tournaments in general. As long as you have a strong supporting team, that's really what you need to back up your star players, right? And Pinguo doesn't look too uncomfortable despite having that early miss, but no trades from the side of Uruguay. And I hope this, I don't know, that this could be a mispick. They are looking so comfortable. Every player on the side of Uruguay holding over 99% accuracy, and we can't say the same about Argentina.
Yeah, absolutely. And we haven't even gotten to the div spike yet. And I do believe we're heading into one of the key eyes right now. Accuracy still strong side of Uruguay. As I say that, Melody finding that miss, going down to that low 98. Not only going to be putting a slight dent in the score, but things will be looking up to Argentina if they will be able to climb their ways back with those full combos.
And what's interesting to note as well, Uruguay did play this earlier in their match against Belgium, that one going all the way to tiebreaker. Only put up a score of about 2.2 million, did lose it by a heartbreaking margin of under 30,000. It's 28,000 score difference. So, 2.2 million the score there for Uruguay. Argentina maybe taking a look at that MP, seeing that Uruguay was maybe not the strongest on this, didn't drop any FCs, didn't drop any scores over 730K. And maybe Argentina was thinking, okay, this is something we can take advantage of. And that is not so far working out for them, as it's another break there for Bowmilk. They have the 2 FCs on Smash K and PV Poop. They have the recovery combo on Penguo, but it is still the triple FC on Helvetia, Rebo, and on Clocks for Uruguay. So that leads staying on their side despite Melody having a little trouble. There goes Helvetia and Penguo to trade it.
Absolutely. That's a bit of a diff spike coming in now, and we are basically tied. We got to see who can clutch up in this difficult section. Flo Saru going to find that full combo break, and so actually Rebo, that's a Bancho miss. So it's not quite as disastrous as both full combos going down, but that is going to send things far into the territory of Argentina. Smash K and PP Pupu holding on so solidly, looking so comfortable, especially with that high 99% accuracy full combo. And I think that might be what Argentina was banking on. Maybe PP Pupu was like, hey, I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling confident. I can FC this. Smash K, as I say that though, does go down. That is a full combo now off the board, I believe. Oh, that's another Bancho miss. Okay, we are getting trolled today.
Gotta love the classical Bancho. But as the map does close out with that 250k score difference, I think it's safe to say as Argentina, PvP finding that miss, but I think it is too late for Uruguay to make that comeback. Argentina are going to be doing it, banking their first point.
It's a solid team performance. It is a bit of an improved score for Uruguay compared to their previous match, but Argentina just proving too strong. And look at the paired scores there from Smash K and PP Pupu, both on the S ranks. Slider breaking for both of them in the last couple hundred combo, but 890k, 880k. On the Uruguay side, again, you know, they had the 797K from Rebo, improved his score from last time by a bit, but again, just didn't really have the supporting scores that they would have needed. And so a solid first pick there from Argentina. Again, they only need to win a couple points in this one to ensure themselves of a top 2 seed out of this group. Obviously want to win the match no matter what, but I think 3 points does the trick regardless of outcome after that. So we'll see what Uruguay maybe opts into to start things off for themselves, try to get a first point on the board. Where do we foresee them? Where do we predict them going with their own first pick after dropping that reading Nomad?
Well, you know, unfortunately, DT3 was banned by Argentina, which is honestly a really smart ban considering Uruguay had an amazing 3.8 million team score versus Belgium, I believe, on this. So we might see DT2 come out potentially. I don't know if they want to gamble with that, considering how comfortable Argentina looked in qualifiers on that map. Uruguay doesn't have a whole lot to work with, considering how strong Argentina is on some of these picks. But we could see a free mod come out, you know? I think free mod is looking very solid for Uruguay personally. And, you know, you get a lot of flexibility in who can take which mods. So, but yeah, okay, we are going to see that DT2 come out, actually.
Yeah, the free mod pool has felt pretty unpopular in general. I feel like it's kind of been a little bit of a last resort for a lot of teams, so opting away from that, not overly surprising. DT2, speedy DT, right? We saw Argentina banning out the DT3, really unrelated. Uruguay, of course, themselves banning out the Hidden 2, also completely unrelated. So this is just a speed test, right? Pretty much all that you're going to see in this one. Not a map played in Uruguay versus Belgium. And interesting, here's the thing about this one. Uruguay picking this into an Argentina team who just 3-wayed and put up a 4.1 million team score on this map against Turkey.
Yeah, we've seen so many high team scores on this map in particular. We've seen a quad FC, we've seen multiple 3-way FCs. So yeah, this it's not an FC or die map necessarily, but there are 3 evenly spaced diff spikes throughout the map, 3 key eye sections, and it's unrelenting. There's no break. You really just have to lock in and, you know, not mess up on some of these heavy kind of finger control sections where there are quads, so you want to be careful about that as well. Here we go. We are seeing a bit of a roster swap as well on the side of Argentina. I believe 3 players swapped out, Pipi Pupu remaining in. And we see a few new players joining us from the side of Uruguay as well as we get into things here.
Yeah, gonna be Donnet coming in. This is the same roster that Argentina ran on this previously. Seong, Tofi, Bisho Bilek, and Pipi Pupu. So kind of mostly expected players. I'm curious to see if Argentina can do what they did against Turkey again, because that was a crazy team score. It's very intriguing to me that Uruguay would opt into this themselves after seeing that team score from Argentina. They've got to be planning on some really impressive things.
And it looks like it's going to be Seong with first grade. So maybe not the 4-way full combo, but of course this is a very endurance heavy map, so I think if the rest of Argentina can still hold on with that combo backhand and maybe just prevent it against Uruguay, then I think things should still be fine. But you're still hitting all those streams. Melody is going to be the first one to trade it back, so going to be tugging it back and forth like a tug of war.
Yeah, and just take a look at the accuracies on these players to kind of gauge their comfort level on this. We see 3 99+% accuracies from the side of Argentina and 2 from the side of Uruguay. Donnet with the full combo finding a bit of accuracy trouble, so that's going to keep the lead in the side of Argentina, as they do have a slight combo advantage and accuracy advantage, which is especially important in Scorpio 2, right? So as we exit this second third here, it's looking very, very close still very much anyone's game. Seong and Melody recovering quite nicely. Helvetia, though, unfortunately dropping the full combo as we get into this third key eye. And Argentina is just shredding, not giving up any any room here.
This is a really impressive team performance from Argentina. 3FC is still holding, much like last time, just the one break from Seong early on and has recovered quite well, maintaining solid accuracy also. I mean, you can't even be unhappy about the score from Uruguay here, right? They've got a double FC still on the table with pretty good accuracy on blocks. There goes Donnet finally, was the lowest accuracy. Not super surprised, unfortunately, to see him break. But even with that solid team score from Uruguay, it's just, what are you supposed to do? It's going to be another 4 million team score from Argentina. Will it be the triple FC again? Back-to-back plays with 3FC's 4.2 million going up from the 4.1 million. I was curious why Uruguay picked that into them, and the curiosity seems to have been rightly placed, as that is a crazy team score again from Argentina and a break point to start things off. What are you supposed to do, man? 4.2 million team score. That's just really impressive for anyone.
Absolutely. And we did see Brazil have the 4-way FC, but they could not reproduce in their match yesterday. So it's really amazing to see such consistency come out from the side of Argentina on this, it's very difficult to do in a 4v4 environment to reproduce these same score lines, but that's just the nature of the beast, and that's going to be a break point, the first break point of this match, go to Argentina, and Uruguay basically needs to reverse sweep if they want to have any chance of getting out of this group. And yeah, they are facing elimination in Group F.
Tails head high for the side of Argentina, but pretty much what you were saying, Uruguay does have to pick wisely into their next pick, and I'm not really too sure on their game plan. What do you guys think Uruguay are going to be moving into?
I think it's going to be tough, and I think they're going to have to wait and see how they do on whatever Argentina picks next, frankly, to try and maybe adjust their plan. Because Argentina, if I'm Argentina, I'm picking Nomad 2 right here, and then if I'm Uruguay, I'm saying, okay, we're going to pick something that's not mechanics and not reading that we feel the best on of what's left. But I think they might just be making that decision kind of ad hoc on the fly, depending on how the next pick goes, to be honest.
And as expected, Argentina bringing out the reading maps with this Nomad 5 pick. And yeah, I think Nomad 1 is a good potential option for Uruguay. You know, Nomad 1 generally, it doesn't necessarily favor the underdog, but it's very RNG in that sense. So rather than getting decimated on a DT2 pick, I think you have better chances on these kind of RNG maps. And I believe it was Fremod 3, but one of the Fremod maps is very similar to Nomad 1 in a way. And yeah, it is Fremod 3 with that kind of snap aim. So that's on the table for them.
This is such a cool map. Like, I just love seeing this one. CS 7.4 at Air 9 is both a precision challenge and a reading challenge. Really offers a skill set that you don't see a whole ton of, especially not in a Nomad pool, right? Usually with the small circle size, you are in a hard rock pool, so you get the high approach rate to go with it. Here, that approach rate is kept down at 9, which adds a little extra degree of difficulty on this, which I think is a very fun way to kind of explore the Nomad options.
Yeah, and I think a lot of teams have left this on the board, but they haven't been picking it either, with just roughly a 38% pick rate throughout the group stage so far. And yeah, Austria has the #1 team score so far on this, I believe. Maybe this is a bit outdated, but with just over 3.1 million team scores, so it's a bit hard to get a high team score on this one for sure, due to that precision element. It's just so easy to find random misses, and you know, I think Uruguay might actually benefit from this pick slightly for that reason, if Argentina cannot maintain that level of consistency that we just saw.
We shall see here. It looks like we do have everybody loaded in, and that is kind of the nature. You know, you talked about the Nomad 1, right, with the aim being it's a little harder sometimes to be consistent on. It does offer a little more of a degree of that coin flippiness to it. And this map, in a different sort of way, can do some similar kinds of things where it's just easy to break anywhere. And, you know, if you have one player who performs really well through that kind of second half back third, that can really change the outcome in a hurry. So we'll have to keep an eye on how consistent everybody looks, how comfortable they look on the tricky nature of this tiny circle-sized map, as you see early breaks already coming out from Bomilk and Vicio.
So yeah, only now down to 2 full combos on the side of Argentina. But again, this map that is still only at the start, not really the most fatal thing to happen. Again, you're still really managing a lot more of those smaller circle sizes as well. So I think that they're still able to hold on to the consistency, but just kind of a bit faltered. Like, you know, you have the small circle size compared to the last 2 picks where, you know, you might just not have your head wrapped around it at the very start. So maybe if Argentina can still get back into the groove, they could still have that chance to make a comeback as well. And actually, they do have the lead as Melody does find that drop as well.
Yeah, Melody having some trouble on this one, but Argentina not giving a trade. Actually, PP Poo Poo does find the miss. As I say this, Uruguay holding on for dear life. If they want a chance out of this group, they do need to win this. But we do see 3 FCs to 3 with Melody supporting, but Plox does find a full combo miss from the side of Uruguay, unfortunately, but that is traded by Amaru, so it still is just barely in favor of Argentina with Melody having so much trouble. Vicio, actually, it's a complete meltdown on that really awkward pattern, and it's just 1 FC to 1 T1G.
Yeah, and there goes Repo as well, and now it's just Bomilk, and now he's gone too, and this is what happens on this pick, man. You just saw a full lobby wipe over the last 100, 150 combo, and now it is anyone's game coming into the very ending. It's 50k and dropping. The better combo is on the side of Uruguay here. About 200 combo on Plox and about 170 on Helvetia, but is there going to be time left into the ending? I think the answer to that is maybe. Amuro on the 200 plus combo is kind of just keeping Argentina's noses in front. And into the end, it's only 23k, but Argentina managed to hold on. And the 3-0, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody out there who's better at math than me, but I think Argentina putting up 3 points means that this match, the rest of this match actually cannot affect the group stage outcome now. I believe that Argentina has now done enough to keep the point differential in their favor to make sure they go through the groups in second seed. But again, somebody out there better at math than me can double check that and verify.
Yeah, I think that makes sense so far, and it's looking very tough for Uruguay at the moment. Unfortunate 1 miss from Helvetia with 99.25% accuracy. You really hate to see it. Just a little bit more combo could have made the difference there, but Argentina, I believe I saw 4 600k plus scores from them, which is definitely what you want to see on this, and they're just doing what they came here to do, showing how confident they are on these picks. And, one question I have for you, Nightcore, from a Mania perspective, that we have precision, we have reading in OS Standard, but what does that look like from the OS Mania perspective?
Well, I would say precision is definitely more accuracy based, so you could probably think of it like a core jack pick. And, sorry, my memory is scum. What was the other one you said again?
Like reading.
Reading, I would probably say, has gone to the tougher picks. There's a thing in Mania as well, where I would say more the speedy picks. So, like we have seen with DT2, there's also some more of those physical picks as well, where I think that would be equivalent to around the later Rice. So, in Mania, there's Rice, LN, and Hybrid. So, you have your regular nodes, your long nodes, and a mix of both. So, I would say the later Rices are definitely a bit harder on the physical side. So, I would probably count the DTs over towards, stuff like Rice 7, Rice 6.
So interesting to me, like looking at other game modes. I mean, there's just every game mode is so unique, but especially like standard, because aim, right? Like there's nothing to compare anywhere else to aim, and the skill sets that you can kind of introduce via being able to place circles anywhere on the playfield really introduces a really different kind of variety than in like a traditional VSRG style, like with Mania. It's always fascinating to kind of compare the required skill sets to me. And also like the scoring system, right? Like it feels like Mania, you're just playing for AC, right? Like that's like such a huge component.
Absolutely. It especially becomes more of a noticeable difference when it does come to the later game. kind of holding on to that balance of both combo and accuracy. I would say it's a balance of both, but when you do come to the more pure accuracy maps, finding a miss can pretty much be detrimental. I think it might be... It's definitely equivalent to standard early game as well, where, you know, misses are still very brutal, but full combos can still bring you a long way too. So that's kind of my take on it. And it also, of course, applies to all the other skill sets as well in Mania.
Absolutely. This DT1 pick coming out from Uruguay makes a lot of sense. They had the advantage from qualifiers on this. Both of their team scores, both of their runs through qualifiers beat both of Argentina's runs on DT1. And this map is a bit easier, so I think Uruguay definitely is feeling comfortable on this. And we see El Milanga coming in from the side of Uruguay. And I believe no new players coming in from the side of Argentina that we haven't seen so far in this match. Here we go. This one is a bit of a longer DT, coming in at just under 3 minutes after DT is applied. So you want to watch out for kind of random misses on aim. It's very easy with this AR 10.3 Vicio finding that first miss. And Emru actually as well. So Uruguay looking to capitalize on this early trouble here.
And this is a map that Uruguay already has a very good performance today on. Their match against Belgium, they put up a 3.8 million team score with 2 FCs and a 1 miss play right behind them as well with the best accuracy on their team. That was Helvetia, put up an 800k 1 miss. So clearly a map that Uruguay is very comfortable with. And as you mentioned, was very good on this skill set in the qualifiers as well. Showing that continuing here, still do have that 4-way through the first quarter of the map and a bit of a lead to go with it. The question, I think, is just going to be, you know, like you talk about, this is a longer DT map. It is one of the longer, relatively speaking, maps in the pool. A lot of this pool is pretty short. And so can you keep that consistency up across the entire thing with match nerves taking effect? And there goes Seong. So Uruguay in a good spot here, even with that reset from El Milanga. They've still got a triple FC, and they've got a 100,000 score lead at the little break there.
Yeah, Uruguay has looked so comfortable on these DT picks so far. Will they be able to pull out their first point and get that on the board, get some momentum in this match? Even if things don't change, you still don't want to go out 4 or 5 to nothing, right? So that scoreline, though, is just ever so slightly climbing back towards the side of Argentina, unfortunately, as Melody does miss, and Helvetia does miss as well. It's a complete collapse from the side of Uruguay, and Argentina is looking to take this.
The two big heavy hitters going down the side of Uruguay for this map. Gonna be spelling a bit of danger for the side of Uruguay. If I could be like, does find a drop as well, but just with that strong advantage on the side of Argentina. Amaru as well, finding that miss as well. But will there be enough time for Uruguay to make that comeback? We're still getting into more of the streamy areas in the map where the difficulty is going to be taking more of that climax, but ever so slightly into the final break. Only 30,000 points of a score difference. Will Uruguay be able to capitalize off the ending and maybe hope for a miss on the side of Argentina? Only time will tell.
Now they do have adequate time here. There is adequate combo, and they do have the backing combo as well. Crucially, El Milanga, Helvetia, and Melody exceeding the combo on Amuro, Seong, and PP and Vicio. And Rebo does break, though. That is so late, though. I don't know if it's going to matter. Does can PP bring this back on his own with the FC, even with Amuro breaking? This is going to be so close, but I believe Uruguay should have done enough.
There's barely... Oh, yep.
It's been a win.
Just a few more notes. Yeah. Argentina would have been able to claw that back. PP with the carry FC, but just not enough. We have such strong supports coming in from the side of Uruguay. Every support over 800k besides one at just under 700k, with just 2 misses at 99.67% accuracy, dropping 2 100s, the lowest besides Seong in the whole lobby, but who does find 350s as well. So yeah, what a strong performance from the side of Uruguay on this one, getting their first point on the board. But it is in Argentina's territory. They do have the opportunity here to get to that 4-1 precipice on this next pick.
It feels like...
So the question...
Oh, go ahead.
So the question I have to ask is, what are they going to be jumping into next? So, what do you guys think?
Team that goes Nomad 3 hidden and Nomad 5 I think there's Hidden 1 as an option. Uruguay banned out Hidden 2, but there is the other Hidden. There's also Hard Rock 2 if they like the idea of staying in the precision skill set. Hard Rock 2, another choice. Also, notably, Argentina, demolished Uruguay on that DT2, put up a crazy team score, so the Nomad 2 is there as well. It's a little lower BPM, but it is still just a raw tapping requirement. So despite it not being in line with their own previous picks, it is in line with a map that they won pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I think Argentina has so many more options than Uruguay does. I would love to see Hidden 1 just because it's my favorite song in the pool personally. I think it's such a banger, but we do see Hard Rock 2, this OS original, coming out. And it makes a lot of sense. Argentina has been performing so well across so many areas, but Hard Rock is one of these areas as well that they've just been absolutely phenomenal on, frankly. And they do have an advantage over Uruguay looking at the qualifiers, looking at these recent team scores throughout the group stage. So it doesn't surprise me at all. And, Uruguay, you're in kind of a tough spot. Even if you get the next pick and you take this break point, it's kind of like, what do you pick? You probably do want to just go for some RNG picks, but that is to be determined. This one is a little bit shorter as well, coming in at just under 2 minutes 40. And it's about 140 BPM as well. It's kind of that precision, like almost like ulti pick as well. There's a lot of 1/8 bursts that you want to look out for, especially like that first third of the way through. There's a bit of a diff spike and some really, really awkward patterns that are sneaky and that you definitely want to practice and watch out for.
Oh, you definitely have to watch out for some of those sneaky patterns in the pocket. Especially the map only that's 2 minutes and 40 seconds long as well. Like we have seen shorter, but we have seen longer, so kind of in the middle of the road. But as you were saying, we have seen Argentina perform well on picks like this, and as you guys were saying before, in the qualifiers, how they did outscore Uruguay as well. So pretty interested to see how this turns out. It'll still be anyone's game, but maybe the advantage does go to Argentina for this.
We shall see as we await the last couple members from Uruguay. Gotta remember, of course, just a couple maps ago, that Nomad 5 was contested really until the very bitter end, right? Only 23,000 points separating the teams, 3 very close scores, and then just the 4th member was really the only difference maker on both. You had a 484K versus a 369K, and that was basically what made the difference. So if you can find just a little bit higher score on that last member and keep the consistency up on the other 3, Uruguay could kind of flip the script against Argentina on a similar circle size, if not similar in terms of map per se. We'll get into this one here. I think a little easier to be consistent on at the CS 6.5 than it was on the CS 7 Plus, but still a pretty challenging skill set, especially coming from a very straightforward DT. So let's get into it. Uruguay trying to make a pretty big upset happen here from 3-0 down. They've gotten 1 point on the board. Time to see if they can take a break point against an Argentina team that looked very good on their first 2 picks.
Absolutely, and PP Pupu coming in so far at #1 match cost overall, so you want to look out for a full combo from him. We do see some misses from both sides so far. Plox traded by Bowmilk and Seong, so that is advantage Uruguay. As we get into the first quarter, it's a very tame intro as well, but it ramps up so quickly. You have to watch out for this really awkward burst section coming up very shortly. And as we get into this Ki time, no early breaks right at the start of this. It's looking very, very even as the recoveries come through from Argentina. Plox finding that miss. It's not a full combo miss, but that is a strong support. Seong trades it, so that is going to give Uruguay some extra life to work with. But Melody finding the full combo miss. That is advantage Argentina, 2 FCs to 2, with an advantage in the supporting combo department as we get into the first half here.
Let's stand pretty.
Looking pretty strong
Oh
inside
my
of
God.
Uruguay. Okay, looking pretty strong inside of Uruguay. PP Poo finding that drop, but the supporting combo on their side is really strong. As I say that, Seong does find that drop, going to be giving a 6-digit figure difference on the side of Uruguay heading into the final quarter of the map. We do have that mini slider start as that break before we get into the main meat of the map. But again, the final sprint is what matters mostly in the race. So, anything is still possible to happen when we head into the ending. Still more on those bursts and some of those sliders as well. Can still be quite tricky to catch out. But the accuracy and combo on the side of Uruguay, especially Amaru with that miss, is too great. All full combos on the side of Argentina gone as well. Uruguay just have this golden opportunity to clean in the bag. Even that miss with Rabo. The supporting combo is just really strong heading into the conclusion of the map. I think Uruguay have managed to do it. Managed to take this second point off Argentina.
That's a really, really impressive performance from Uruguay. That's really good. They get a 1 miss on Helvetia. They get an S rank on Rebo, and a couple of solid backing scores from Plox and Melody as well. It's not like Argentina performed badly on that, but they didn't have the top end that they would have needed. And Uruguay, wishing this match had started a little differently, perhaps already down the 3-0 before they got a point, but those back-to-back scores looked pretty good, man. 370k after clutching out the DT1 by that small 24k margin. 372k going to feel pretty comfortable, and they have their own pick to come.
Absolutely. This first break point is just such a, I don't know, it puts so much wind in your sails as a team, especially when you are the low seed and you're not favored to win. Getting a strong break point off of a skill set that your opponent is, according to the statistics, unequivocally better at. So that is what we wanted to see. And I think with this group stage format, the maps are much easier. You have a lot of opportunity as a lower seed to come back and find breakpoints. So Uruguay looking to capitalize on this, and I think they might have to go for a Nomad 1 or a Nomad 4 potentially. These are kind of the toss-up picks that I have in mind, at least personally. And actually, yeah, we're going to see Fremod 1, Eyes on Me, featuring Such by Psyche. Zag map. This is such a banger map and song.
I love
Psycho and Such. Might love it. Yeah, I was gonna say either Nomad 1 or Fremont 1 would probably be Argentina's next go-to on the treasure map, their next step to find EX. But we'll have to see. What are your guys' predictions for this map? I do know it's free mod. Nothing. I don't think there's any mod score increases for Mania, so I'm kind of interested in seeing how the free mod would work.
Well, we saw Uruguay play this earlier against Belgium. They ran Helvetia on Hard Rock, Rebo on Hidden, the other two on Nomad. They put up a 2.3 million team score, lost it actually pretty badly. They lost it by 500k. I am not sure off the top of my head if Argentina has played this map as of yet. I can tell you they did not play it in their match immediately preceding this one against Turkey. Not sure if they played it in their first match last week, perhaps. But we'll have to see kind of where they decide to go. You know, we've had forced Hard Rock obviously in the last map. We have not had a hidden map yet in this match, so hard to say, you know, maybe who's going to be the strongest on that particular mod.
Well, I think looking from...
Go ahead.
Well, I think seeing from the hidden picks, I definitely think that Argentina did have the advantage. Maybe it was more of a mishap in the qualifiers that Uruguay might have gotten that lower accuracy, but maybe Argentina might not know Uruguay's true potential when it does come to hidden. Yes.
Absolutely. As we get underway here very shortly, assuming no issues going out from Bancho or anything like that we've seen so far this weekend, this map is a bit RNG as well. You know, I think it makes a lot of sense for Uruguay to pick this. And I'm not just saying Uruguay is only looking to pick RNG maps, but when you're going against such a strong team, you want to find maps where it's not FC or die, right? Where you can make a couple of mistakes and still claw that victory back from your opponent. And this one is very short as well. It's one of the shortest maps in the pool, under 2 minutes in length. But there are so many opportunities to find combo breaks. It's still such an exciting pick. And by no means is this an FC or die situation. We do see an overmod Hard Rock. This is something I was thinking that might happen from the side of Argentina, who is more dominant on Hard Rock. And we actually see both teams overmodding on Hard Rock with one hidden. So that is very interesting. Uruguay saying, no, you're not going to do this to me. We are going to match you 1-to-1 and take this very early accuracy lead as we see some slight drops from the side of Argentina in this slow section.
Through this intro, we build into the circle tech, kind of tapping tech section here. Once you get to the 1/3 mark, it's going to be an early break there from Plox on the Nomad for Uruguay. Their lone Nomad player, not the guy you want to see breaking. That really needs to be the anchor FC. Helvetia, Rebo, and Penguo all falling. It is now Melody, the only FC left for Uruguay. Meanwhile, Seong, Pipi, and Amuro all holding. Seong does drop, but they still have 2 FCs against 1. As you can see, the challenge of this map, these expanding, accelerating, decelerating stream patterns straight into some crazy sliders, causing breaks all over the place. It is Amuro with the FC against Melody, the better support combo now being built up by Uruguay into the last third of the map.
These high accuracies from these modded players on the side of Argentina, though, they are not going to give up this lead without a strong fight from the side of Uruguay. Seong finding that critical miss. Plox following it up. Penguo as well. This is a slight advantage towards the side of Uruguay. Can they pull it back from the side of Argentina? That score lead dropping below 25k. Penguo, Amro, and Rebo all trading, but that is advantage Uruguay as they take this with the overmod. 1-to-1 fighting Argentina on the overmod. Plox with a little bit of a dance there. I don't know if that was a celebration or a bit of anxiety, but 275k B rank is not going to weigh down Uruguay's 740k S rank from Helvetia on the Hard Rock, with an 867k supporting Hard Rock as well from Melody. That is just absolutely so impressive on this pick.
I don't even
Really
know what just
strong.
happened. What just happened in the last like 30 seconds of that map? Everyone just fell completely apart and the score gap went to negligible territory. That was a very confusing ending, but I guess you take it if you're Uruguay. Anybody else did not have 3-3 on their bingo card for this match when it was 3-0 Argentina in what felt like no time? Because, yeah.
Yep.
I didn't really have it on my bingo. In fact, I don't think I had a bingo card at all.
It is
we are going to see.
Okay, everybody start talking at once. That's how this is going to go. We love It's a very quick Nomad 2 pick here from Argentina. I've been saying they should pick this ever since they won that DT2 by a whole lot, because it just felt like they had the vastly superior tapping roster. They won that by almost 700k with a 4.2 million team score. Why did they wait this long to pick the other tapping map in the pool? Well, at least they've done it eventually.
Yep, looking to capitalize on that DT2 win from earlier. Not just a win, it was honestly kind of a massacre in terms of a win. They had over 4 million team score, so we'll see what they can do here. And again, this is another short pick. 230 BPM, just raw tapping. And I think the GLHFs are coming out. Not going to see too many swaps. We see Danik coming back in, that tapping player for Uruguay, and Tofi as well. Coming in for this one, but we do see, let's see, yeah, it is 3-3, so anything can happen. Honestly, I would be very, very shocked and kind of disappointed to see an upset at this point, considering it may not change the outcome of this group. I really think if Uruguay wins 5-3 and the group doesn't change, that'll be quite unfortunate, but we'll see what happens here.
I think regardless, both teams are putting up such an impressive performance. You're just duking it out in this pretty much free-for-all at this point. Heading into the midpoint of the map now, where I do believe, only 2 maps are left to shine. And I think Argentina, it does make sense for them picking it, looking at their raw strong tapping. But as I said, I haven't met Rush there with Tofi and Sayan with the miss early on.
There's 1 pick left per team after this one. Or 1 pick left in total after this one, I should say. So this is the final pick here for Team Argentina, and they're the ones to find a couple early breaks, but it's going to be traded out. You have Seong, Tofi falling. You have Plox, you have Donut falling. 2 FCs against 2. Accuracy staying relatively close. Ever still in the favor of Uruguay. This is going to be a break from Melody. Another break from Donut. 2 FC just left on Helvetia. PP and Vicio holding the double FC for Argentina, but the backing combo going to be far superior on Tofi. And Seong matching Plox. But there goes Tofi. That lead going to be, I think, kind of steady here. About 90k.
Yeah, absolutely. Argentina pulling that scoreline so slightly over towards their team. It's just increasing and increasing. There's no stopping this train so far. Uruguay, Melody, unfortunately, finding that miss. That's just going to hurt them even more. It's just a very smart pick, as you predicted, Aaron. Argentina looking to go 4-3, capitalize on this tapping advantage, and get themselves that guaranteed tiebreaker. Helvetia with the 99.5 looking so strong, but it's just not quite enough. We have 2 FCs from the side of Argentina. Plox with the strong recovery. Danit as well, frankly, but it's not yet an advantage for Uruguay.
Heading into the final quarter, Danit finding that trap right before heading into the final area along with Melody. So 326 first point difference heading into the final area, but the difficulty is still going to be reaching its climax. And if it can still happen, but signs of life on the side of Argentina as they are still driving through. PPP with the drop, Tofi and Helvetia trading. Final few stream bursts, getting into the ending. Tofi finding that drop again. Goes score difference of 450,000. I think Argentina have done it and managed to snag themselves into that guaranteed tiebreaker situation.
That's a fourth point. 4th point on the board, guarantees tiebreaker as mentioned, and they will have a chance to close out the match on the Uruguay pick as well. I don't know why they waited so long to pick that, honestly.
Yeah, coming in with the 3 million team score, that's quite solid, honestly, for this pick. You know, we've seen a lot of high team scores on this, but that's just what you need to do. And very low miscount from Uruguay, but we just had some unfortunate timing on those misses, capping the score line, the possible maximum score. So if I'm Uruguay, I'm looking to pick No Mod 1, frankly. I think that is their best option right now. Free Mod, that is also a potential option, but it's really a toss-up on Free Mod. I think you don't want to overmod Hard Rock again if I'm Uruguay. That's a bit of a high-risk, high-reward gamble on Free Mod, so we'll see.
I think my money is definitely on Nomad. Nomad 1 or Nomad 4 are definitely the picks I have in mind for the side of Uruguay, as you were saying a bit earlier. They do want to capitalize off it and get into the tiebreaker against Argentina to close off this match, but I think Uruguay are still deciding their cards and seeing if they can play it right and potentially get into that potential tiebreaker situation again.
They do have the No Mod 4, right? You win the Free Mod 1, which is a tech pick. Opting into another tech map, even if it's a different style of tech, is still not an unreasonable thought. They banned out the Hidden 2, so I wouldn't expect the Hidden 1, which is the other kind of tech-ish type of map. But yeah, No Mod 1, if you want to just sort of throw caution to the wind and say, hey, we're going to pick raw aim. Or, wow, Free Mod 2. I wonder if, so they did roll 2. I wonder if that was between Free Mods 2 and 3. That would be interesting if so. I can't say I expected a Free Mod 2 pick out of Uruguay here, though. It is a pretty straightforward flow stream OSA original. You lose 2 tapping maps previously on Nomad 2 and DT2. I don't really know where the logic necessarily stems from to head into this after those 2 maps, other than the fact that it's only 195 BPM and it's really flowy streams rather than speed.
Yeah, exactly. And this is, as you mentioned, it's a tapping map, so it's a bit rough. I don't know if this is a mispick, and there are a couple of sections that we want to watch out for. About halfway through, there's just such a long stream followed by a lot of bursts. But yeah, if they're feeling the mechanics, hey, I respect it. We'll see if there are 2 matching overmods or not on this to go into tiebreaker. It would be a clutch victory, I think, to win this particular pick. But if you're not feeling the aim or the tech, I can understand not wanting to go into Nomad 1 or Nomad 4 and just go for something a bit more traditional. But this, again, anything can be decided at the ending of this map as well, because there's a very heavy diff spike as we go into the ending.
I do understand Uruguay's intentions in a pick like this, especially after, I do believe it was it DT1, the Toho map?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think maybe after DT1, I think Uruguay might be trying to replicate something like that. Those were my intentions, but as you did say, there was that difficulty spike at the end, and maybe they might just not be confident in free mod 1, so hey, I respect it.
Well, we shall see here into the last pick of this match. It'll either be a tiebreaker to come, or Argentina, if they can get the break point here, will close the match out 5-3. It's a very early break there from Seong on the Hard Rock. Huhu on the Hidden with Vicio and Amuro on the Nomads. Other side, starting out just a little bit stronger for Uruguay. Plox on the Hard Rock holding through the intro. Rebo on the Hidden with Little Fede? I'm not sure. I apologize. On the Nomad along with Helvetia. I believe this is his first map, right? Whatever it is.
Not seen him.
I have not seen him yet. This is quite the situation to come in for your first map of a match. Down 4-3, trying to force a tiebreaker. No pressure, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it does look like they are going to have the lowest act from the side of Uruguay on this Nomad, which you really need that Nomad player to be so consistent. We do see the grade that I will not mention from the side of Rebo as we get into the first break. Everyone sees it. And Little Fede, or however you say this, is potentially tilted, potentially feeling some anxiety. But Seong going to find that critical break. It is advantage Uruguay as we exit this section.
And here we are jumping into the streams, more to burst and more to aim sections as well. Going to be finding still that advantage on the side of Argentina, but it is slowly crawling back over towards the side of Uruguay's. Fede does climb back up there actually a small bit. It's too close comfort, switches over back towards Uruguay. And that is PvP with the miss.
Another break to see the scores. It's 53k in favor of Uruguay coming into the last third of the map. Uruguay's just gotta hold on for dear life, and they can force a tiebreaker. It's Amuro to fall next on the stream, coming right out of the break, and that is going to be big advantage Uruguay. They can run away with this in the ending now. Still a triple FC against just one, and now Vicio falls, and that's gonna do it. I mean, we're just going to TV now, guys.
It's a complete catastrophe from the side of Argentina. Plox does trade it, but that is 4 breaks basically to 2 as Little Fede drops his supporting combo. Rebo as well. Helvetia, though, looking to put on an absolute show with the Nomad double S. Will he be able to pull it out? Yes, he does. The double S on Free Mod 2. What an incredible performance from Helvetia and the side of Uruguay as a whole. 2 800+ K supporting combos. That is exactly what you want to see. And we are going to tiebreaker. It is 4-4 in this group stage. Group F. Nothing will really change here, I think, in terms of group standing, but it would be an absolute, I don't know, such a clutch win from the side of Uruguay, and I would still be feeling so happy about it, winning against Argentina seed 30, who honestly is objectively outperforming in a lot of ways when you look at the qualifier statistics and other performances that we've seen so far this weekend from them. This map, 6 minutes in length. We have not seen too many tiebreakers this weekend. We've seen a couple of them, but yeah, this is your kind of long, it's a marathon consistency map basically, and it favors the team with the higher skill cap. So we shall see how this goes.
Hey, first standard commentating match, and I already see tiebreaker. It's already.
You're a good luck charm.
Hell yeah. Gotta entertain the viewers somehow. Got a green monster that has to be down by the time to get the hype levels up.
This is back-to-back tiebreakers for Team Uruguay as well, who did go to tiebreaker earlier today against Belgium. Did lose that tiebreaker. I'm just going to be honest and say it was not a very good team score. They didn't get a single score above 500k and did not get above 2 mil as a team as a result. So I think you gotta improve on that score to have a chance in this matchup. But we'll see how it goes. So I mean, 200 BPM, very consistent in difficulty. So should be an interesting one.
Absolutely, and we do see both teams agreeing to a timeout. We might see some players looking to practice this or sort out their roster lineup. And you want to get the nerves out of the way as much as possible. You can take advantage of this timeout rule. If both teams agree, we can take a 2-minute timeout. So go get a snack, go get a drink, and come right back. You have a bit of time before we get into the action here.
I could just genuinely play a game of Minesweeper right now. I'll be back to update you the details.
It is kind of a shame that the group standings are such that this doesn't actually matter in terms of group outcomes. Because, like, what could be cooler than the last match of the group coming down to a tiebreaker to determine what teams get through the group, right?
Yeah.
That would be that would have been pretty sick. It is a bit of a shame that that isn't quite the scenario we're able to find ourselves in, but at least it's a tiebreaker. I think this is the 5th maybe tiebreaker overall. As mentioned, there's really not been a whole lot.
Yeah, we have 4 team scores in total, so I believe only 2 matches have gone to tiebreaker. Spain and Chile and
Prior
Singapore
to today,
versus...
I think.
Oh yeah, the sheet is outdated actually, so that would make sense. Yeah, we're looking to see. I mean, we see an average team score of around 2.2 million, so it's a bit of a low scoring one considering how long it is, and we're just going to be looking out for some high combos. And it is optional free mod, so we may see some preference hiddens as well come in.
We did see the preference hidden from one player previously. It was a Belgian player, however, it was 5 Yoshi on the Belgium side in the match that Uruguay played already. They ran four nomads there, so would probably anticipate the same here. I don't know that Argentina has any hidden preference mod players. It doesn't really feel like they do, considering they didn't like pick a hidden or anything, and they overmodded Hard Rock on the free mod. But we shall see, I suppose, whether or not that comes to fruition. As we wait, the 8th player into the lobby before we can get going on the last map of the last match here of Group F. 1 player to rule them all, or something like that.
Yeah, there's less than probably 1 minute on this timer. We get everyone into the lobby here, potentially. I think 1 player is having some issues downloading it.
We'll just have to get in now, getting our last player. It's like one of those sports where you get the final star player. Now it's going to be Melody, it does look like, unless they leave like 2 seconds later, but see that. There's something else that did kind of interest me. That you said that there might be a visual map. There might be a visual map preference player as well.
See, I don't think it. I think we're just going to see 8 nomads.
Yeah.
It looks like we're just seeing 8 nomads. Yeah. So no hidden preference mods here. Just all straight up nomad, which is generally speaking what you expect anyway. So here we go. It's a tiebreaker. Argentina, Uruguay. Really just for bragging rights, really just for pride. PP, Pupu, Bomilk, Vicio, Seong against Phlox, Melody, Rebo, and Helvetia. And already a couple early breaks here on the opening bursts from Bomilk and Seong. But as mentioned, this is a very long map. Even by tiebreaker stands, a little longer than normal at 6 minutes. So plenty of time in front of us for this very difficult, very consistently challenging pick to unfold.
Yep, sit back, get comfy, batten down the hatches for this longer marathon map. Slight advantage Uruguay. We see a lot of comfort from them, but Melody unfortunately dropping the double S with a combo break miss. So that is advantage Argentina once again, even though they did have those couple of early kind of, you chalk it up to nerves, those misses, right? So we're still in that territory where the misses don't matter quite so much. But as we get into this first quarter, the spaced bursts are coming out. We don't see anyone, but Vicio actually does find the miss from the side of Argentina, giving Uruguay a bit of room to work with on this.
Bancho? Vicio?
Oh, you're right. You're right.
I think that was a real break from Plox, however, though. It does not look like his combo is coming back together. Melody with break as well as Vicio. Keep an eye out. I will say, maps like this with a lot of like kick sliders and quick sliders of other nature, a lot of times breaks on anything around those patterns will resolve themselves into actual misses, and it's just the connection lag. So always double take your breaks, because you never know. But it is combo advantage to Argentina at this point. FC on PV Pupu. Big combos on Bomilk and Seong since the early breaks against just Rebo with the FC on Uruguay. No huge backing combos in either.
Definitely has that advantage over the side of Argentina. Mostly heavy on the combos, but as we do jump into the next key eye, they'll be a bit more focused on some of those jumps and bursts. But everyone's still holding on very well. Melody finding that drop. Going to be the combo advantage on the side of Argentina still, as they are still holding that iron wall up.
Yeah, this is truly an iron wall. Still maintaining 3 FCs so far, and unfortunately dropping from PP Pupu as I say this. Still holding 2 high accuracy FCs. It's exactly what you want to see on a group stage tiebreaker like this, where it's so important to maintain consistency for as long as possible. Melody really struggling from the side of Uruguay, and that lead is continuing to increase to the side of Argentina despite Vicio's trouble. I mean, we are just seeing some absolute domination from the side of Bomilk and Seong on this. And Uruguay not able to keep up. Even with Plox's strong 1K combo support, we're not seeing any help really. We're seeing a lot of misses come out in unopportune times from the side of Uruguay. And this score lead is climbing well beyond 200,000, which for a tiebreaker map of this caliber is really a lot.
I took the words right out of my mouth there. I was thinking the exact same thing. Like 230k at not quite halfway through a TB is a big score gap. You do see a couple more breaks starting to come through from Argentina. Vicio and Seong with a couple of misses. Helvetia did trade one of those, but still with the score gap this big at this point in time. Well, there goes Bomilk. So their only combo is now on PP Pupu. You do have the big combo still on Plox. You do have recovery combo on Melody and on Rebo. So the door is ever so slightly ajar for Uruguay to try to stick their foot in, but only so slightly, especially with a couple of more breaks coming from Melody. They need to keep up the big combos on the 3 members that are holding, and they need to do it for quite some time. But watch that score gap, guys. It is starting to come down a little bit. It's down to 180k, and it's still lowering moment by moment, combo by combo, with a third of the map still to come. The opportunity is there for Uruguay. The question is whether or not they'll be able to actually seize it.
Absolutely, and both FCs dropping from the side of Argentina. Plox putting the team on his back, hitting these space jumps after the stream, looking so confident. That cursor is shaking just a little bit, but with nearly double S accuracy, putting Uruguay on his shoulders. Can he do it as we get 3/4 of the way through this tiebreaker, hitting the winding streams as we get into the slow section? That cursor is shaking. He's feeling the nerves. With over 2k combo, he knows exactly what needs to be done. That score lead climbing down beyond 100,000 and decreasing. Will he be able to pull it out? He has enough time. Melody not able to find a recovery, and Vicio from the side of Argentina not able to as well. PP Pupu and Plox are basically battling it out for this win here, and the lead is decreasing still below 50,000. Is there enough time? Yes, but can he do it? Rebo dropping that support, that is devastating. That is not what we wanted to see as we get into the ending here, and that lead is stagnating at 40k. Plox still with the full combo. I think there's just barely enough time. But we cannot see any misses from the side of Uruguay if they want to pull out this TB win. Oh, it's such a nail biter.
It's going to come down in the last moment. It's a miss aim from Plox.
No.
And that might just do it. He had the opportunity there, but that late miss aim with the combo still intact on Bowmilk and Vicio and Seong on the side of Argentina. Helvetia and Melody doing what they can, but there's a late break from both of them. And into the spinner at the end, it's going to be Argentina by the smallest of margins. Oh, Plox, you poor, poor soul. My heart goes out to him. That is a tragic break at the end. 19,000 the difference. It would have been enough. I'm sorry to say this. It would have been enough if Plox had held just the tiniest of misaims in the worst possible moment at the very, very end. And Argentina is going to hang on by the barest of margins, a tiebreaker that nearly came all the way back, a 3-0 lead that went all the way to tiebreaker to start things, and then a tiebreaker where they were up by nearly 300,000 points that nearly came all the way back. It's a darn shame. And I'm saying this again, but it's a darn shame that this match, once that got to that 3-0, didn't actually matter, and maybe that's why it got so close, because, man, what we just saw out of the back half of that match from both sides was incredible. But congratulations to Argentina for holding on and taking the tiebreaker and getting the number 2 seed here out of Group F. You got to give the commiserations to Uruguay, who are going to be eliminated from the tournament, but, man, what a performance to go out on.
Absolutely. That, and as you mentioned, you took the words right out of my mouth this time. Uruguay putting on such a performance, nearly clutching out the underdog win, but that is going to be their OS World Cup 2025 run as Argentina makes their way out of Group F by the skin of their teeth, pulling out this 5-4 win, putting on such a strong performance as well, 3-0 at the start of this match. And then Uruguay just got the wind in their sails, but that is going to do it for us today. That is it for Group F. We have just a couple of more matches coming up. We have one starting very, very shortly, and we're about to close out group stage. But Nightcore, do you have any closing thoughts for us from your perspective?
Well, I can definitely say the hype is 100% there on the side of Standard. Like, that was just an amazing performance by both teams. And hey, even though Uruguay went out, they went out with an absolute bang. And now I got a green monster to take care of, and I just lost the game Minesweeper, so quite upsetting on the side of me, but hey, I'll get over it. That tiebreaker was absolutely phenomenal. Fox carried the weight, pretty much just carrying the world on their shoulders with that unfortunate miss. But that is just the intensity of tournaments and just the nature of them in general. And I'm very glad to have commentated with you guys for this match.
I think I speak for both of us to say that we're very glad to have had you. Stage, any last thoughts before we close out here? Our last match of the B stream for this week.
Yep, absolutely, Aaron. I think we're getting ready to go into Ukraine versus Peru in 22 minutes at 20:30 UTC on the main channel, OS Live. So make sure to check that one out. You don't want to miss it. And go ahead and go off to the OS store between now and the next match. If you haven't already, go and support your favorite team by buying a banner. It will stay on your profile if you predict the winner. So that is one thing you want to do, is support the OS World Cup in that way. But Aaron and Nightcore, it's been such a pleasure. And I think that's going to be it for us today.
That is. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here, both of you guys. And we will see everyone over on the main stream in 22 minutes. Ukraine-Peru, last match of the group stage, and it still has implications. You don't want to miss out. So we'll see you there at 20:30 UTC.